There we go. Meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so hi, this is Carol Rose Atkinson. I am the president of IE Camped, and we are going to be doing a virtual meeting this month with Kate Truitt, Dr. Truitt. And Kate, can you introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Dr. Kate Truitt. Kate is just fine. I'm a neuroscientist as well as a clinical psychologist. I have my expertise is the amygdala, which is our fear-based brain, which is definitely getting a lot of attention right now from many of us. And I'm also a certified trainer and the global coordinator of continuing education for a new trauma reprocessing technique called the havening techniques, which is the meeting that we'll be having at the end of this month. We'll be doing an introductory session for havening.
That's great to know. So, Kate, let's just talk a bit about the insanity that's kind of happening in the world globally. So we're all adjusting, and you talk about the amygdala, and of course that's affecting the fear center of the brain.
Yeah.
And everybody's at different levels of anxiety. Some are doing, and some aren't. You know, everybody is at their at whatever place they're at. I've talked to many people, and there could be some denial in there. Could be a lot of stuff. They could be prepared.
Yeah, it's a really unique time that we're facing, and in some respects, people don't know what to do. And I think when we don't know what to do and when there's uncertainty, our brain trends to want to stay within the patterns that we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea of gathering with friends and community, because we're attachment based as a species. And so we want to bring our friends around us and have dinner parties or go out. Whereas we know the guidelines are actually indicating that for safety, the opposite is what we need to be doing. And so there's a lot of confusion and even organic neurological confusion about how do we handle a situation that's saying for safety of everybody, we have to be altruistic and isolate.
Social distancing.
Social distancing, yes.
I hear that it is counterintuitive to everything that I do as a clinician.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's counterintuitive to everything that we do as humans.
Yes, it is.
When we're in a state, I mean, even in our infancy, when we're fearful, what do we do? We cry so that a caretaker will come and hold us and soothe us.
Mm-hmm.
And here we're being told that the most organic, soothing experience that we have to deny ourselves for the overarching safety of the community.
Right.
And I think that's one of the unique gifts of havening specifically, is that it's a touch-based modality that we can self-apply. And the self-application of the havening touch generates the similar experience of safety and connection that we would otherwise be receiving from somebody else being in close engagement with them or physiological connection.
Well, I can't wait to go to the training. So that is amazing what you're describing. Self-soothing.
Self-soothing. Because if we think about when somebody's having a hard time, it's so natural for us to maybe even just put our hand on their shoulder and rub our hand on their arm and go, hey, are you okay? Or we want to give them a hug.
Mm-hmm.
Or even just the most natural state of greeting somebody is a handshake.
Mm-hmm.
And so the behaving touch capitalizes on those natural experiences and then integrates them into a series of protocols. And the brainwave state that the touch shifts us into, which we do organically all the time, is a very calming brainwave state. And that state for our brain calms down our little fear-based brain, the amygdala, who I lovingly call her Amy. Amy gets very scared. And so it's as though we can take a moment and help her calm down. Because with the coronavirus, this is counterintuitive to everything that we're designed to do biologically.
Right.
And that idea of social altruism through isolation. I think so many of us are struggling with what does that mean and what does that look like right now. And a lot of people are saying, well, if I'm feeling healthy, I'm fine. And connecting the felt sense of wanting to be close to somebody with the factual sense of I could hurt somebody is a really tough connection to make when our own brain is saying I'm scared.
Right. Part of my audience is therapists, but a lot of them are going to be just regular people.
Yeah.
That will see this video.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, I'm trained, trauma trained. My company's Trauma and Healing Foundation.
Yeah.
So, obviously me and my staff are trained with that. We do techniques of the butterfly hug and the, EMDR and other techniques. And it's just never bad to have so many tools in the toolbox.
Yeah.
For us, for our clients, depending upon what's going to work for them and what their diagnosis is. But so right now, I hadn't thought about doing this, but right now, if somebody is seeing this and they're kind of freaked out, what would you suggest to them? Something simple that they could do in the moment.
In the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So the message right now is wash our hands.
Yes. 20 seconds.
And this is one of the self-havening touches. It's called palm havening.
Okay.
And so people might have seen the memes online of creating a song to sing while you wash your hands.
I did. I learned happy birthday.
That's actually a distraction technique that as we wash our hands and we sing a song, we're redirecting our brain out of the fear space and giving it a different job so that the delta waves, we're getting that thinking brain online, so that delta waves can come in and start to soothe us. And so you don't have to be washing your hands to do this, right?
That's
you can just
great.
simply start hand havening and singing a song. Itsy Bitsy Spider is one of my go-tos, Old MacDonald, or playing a brain game, go A to Z, and naming a letter or naming a girl's name or a band or place in the world for every letter of the alphabet while you hand haven, or even bringing in, this is called the arm havening, just like you're giving yourself a nice hug. That will start to generate that low calming brainwave in our system.
That's great.
And partially what we're doing when we do this, it's almost as though we're wrapping some bubble wrap around our little friend Amy back there. We're helping her be stronger in the moment.
That's great. So would that be fair to say that brings it to maybe your prefrontal cortex and more executive functioning and or the ability to think, guys, because when there's not enough oxygen in our brain, we're not thinking clearly. So then it comes out of Amy.
Yes.
And it comes to the place where we can think clearly.
Yes, exactly.
And not in a place of fight or flight.
Yeah. I call the technique that I just started to introduce called CPR for the amygdala.
I love it.
So we're giving the amygdala CPR so that our fear brain can have a breath. And we can even literally take a breath, because when our fear brain runs the show, our breath constricts. We don't have the oxygen we need. Our heart rate goes up. We move into a threat state. And so it's literally saying, okay, let's take a breath. We're okay. There are no tigers around us right now. Because the amygdala thinks there's tigers. I'm saying it's okay. And then I recommend doing 3 different distractions. You might sing a song, do a category game, and then count a sequence of numbers, up to 20 by 2s, back from 50 by 5s, and then take a breath in and check in and see where you are then. Has anything shifted or changed?
Like the grounding technique, sometimes I tell people to say out loud all the colors they know, the sports teams, the models of cars, depending upon what they're into.
Exactly.
So, we're giving them a few ideas, but the bottom line is that you're going to be able to speak about this to a good amount of us, and hopefully this will get out to enough people that will even get a greater audience, because is this relevant right now or not?
Yes. Yeah. And I do, as I shared with you not too long ago, these past couple of weeks in preparation, I've started posting a number of guided exercises on my YouTube channel, which is simply Dr. Kate Truitt, that even how do we set ourselves up for success telecommuting if we're not used to telecommuting?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because there's a lot of emotional brain and fear brain going on. And if all of a sudden we're out of our community and our tribe, which
Mm-hmm.
many of us are as these offices are closing down one by one,
Yeah.
how do we protect ourselves? Because again, it's counterintuitive. We want our people around us for safety.
Right. Everybody has a different situation. A lot of people don't understand telehealth itself
Yeah.
is pretty realistic. I've been doing it a long time. I do it with couples. I do it with regular people. It is not. I mean, I don't know how that works with play therapy, but but other than that, I mean, there is ways to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
So our training, I was just looking at the date. I didn't have it up. I believe it's Thursday, the 26th, um, at uh, 9 to 11.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Friday the 27th from 9 to
Yeah.
11.
Friday.
So
Yeah.
not Friday. I am not thinking clearly.
That's
Friday
okay.
the 27th
We've
from
all got
9
a
to
lot
11.
going on.
And oh yeah, yeah. Well, I have kids. I have,
Oh, so
my
you're
kids gonna be
navigating
aware.
all of that as well.
Of course, of course. I've got 3 children that are now not on campus,
Mm-hmm.
and what will happen. And, we're all navigating different places with all of that.
Yeah.
And there is no true multitasking. So we have to just do the best we can.
And
So go
speaking
ahead.
to what the anxiety you're just mentioning with children, because so many of us are witnessing that. Again, we're pattern-based creatures, and here our patterns have just exploded around us.
Yeah.
And bringing the havening into family connection time. So if you say a prayer before dinner, do your prayer time, and then play a havening game where everybody's self-havening and you're singing a song together, or you're doing popcorn with A to Z bands or TV shows, whatever it might be, so that the system is getting the opportunity to calm down prior to transitioning into mealtime. And then doing that again a couple times throughout the day, especially with little ones,
Mhm.
because whether or not they have the verbal ability to say I'm scared, their brain and their body knows that something's unusual.
Mhm.
And they're also we are mirrors for our children's nervous systems. And so the more that we are experiencing anxiety, even if we think we're hiding it really well, which I know as a psychologist, I'm like, oh, I can put on a really great doctor hat. But I
Mhm.
also know that nervous systems run deeper than that.
Yeah.
And so the more we're proactively calming and soothing ourselves, the better.
Mhm.
And the healthier we'll all be, the calmer and more resilient we'll all be.
Well, and um, to me, there's also an important factor in here that we're not even saying, which is that lowers the cortisol.
Exactly.
Cortisol lowers disease and it gives us a higher immune system and
Exactly.
all of that. Because I'm kind of a health coach and all the other stuff. So the cortisol response is, what creates that disease. So as much as possible, if we can lower that cortisol, then we're also fighting this.
Yes, that's so true. And the more we decrease inflammation, the healthier our brain and body are, and the more responsive rather than reactive we are.
Yeah.
So,
So then Amy goes away.
yeah. And all of my teams have transitioned to telehealth now as well. I'm the Trauma Counseling Center of Los Angeles, as well as Dr. Kate Truitt and Associates here in Pasadena. And we have a number of experts who are extremely well versed in working with health anxiety. And that's something that even if people have never experienced health anxiety is starting to go through the roof right now. And health anxiety is the belief that we have a chronic or deadly illness, and our brain gets locked in on those thought processes so that a sneeze becomes death. And if we're being proactive with self-havening, it lowers the permissiveness of our brain to be vulnerable to that type of anxiety or any type of anxiety right now. And one of the things I love about havening is it's a trauma reprocessing technique that's really, really effective online. And so you can do trauma work, you can do work with panic, you can do work with health anxiety while teaching people to build their own at-home brain program.
I love it. I'm going to suggest that all my team gets trained in this. This is wonderful, and it's so relevant right now. So thank you so much for talking. I want to keep this fairly short so people will have the time to watch the majority of it. We look forward to the training in a few weeks. And if you want to sign up, I'll have the links for iCamped and where to sign up, how to register. It's all virtual. We have openings for 100. And if we need to do more, we can always open more because, you know, there's the capacity to do so. Anyway, with that said, is there anything else that you wanted to point out? Can you mention again your websites?
Yes, of course. So www.drtruitt.com, or it is the Pasadena website. And then I'm also the CEO of the Trauma Counseling Center of Los Angeles, and that's www.tccla.com. And just, I would love to have everybody join us for the 2 hour, because we will, part of that program will be teaching you how to do your at-home brain care program. You will be learning your own and developing your own CPR for the amygdala. I've given you some tips right now that you can use immediately, but we'll be going more in depth how to do that, because to Carol's point, it is so applicable right now and so necessary for us all to be in a healthy relationship with our brain and body. And so I look forward to seeing everybody there.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
have a great day managing how to create coping skills for all of these things that are changing on a moment by moment basis.
Yeah.
Right. So let me go ahead and sign this off. If you could stay on for just a minute. I will shut it off. You guys, we would love to see you online.
Yes.
Have a good day. All right.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.